all the way from Providence, Rhode Island. Welcome to Outlander Cast. It's a podcast dedicated to the show Outlander on Stars.
A song of a lass that is gone, sacred that lass be I. Mary of soul, she sailed on a day over the sea to
Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Mary Larson.
My name is Blake. I just want to say happy holidays to everybody.
Happy holidays. I love the holiday season.
End of the holiday season. We've got a lot of things going on. Huh?
It is not the end. See, you.
Well, you just said it's the end of the holiday season.
No, I said happy holiday season.
Oh,
I love the holiday season.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. I thought I was just reaffirming what you were saying.
I feel like the holiday season goes until my birthday.
Your birthday?
Yeah. Maybe even longer.
No.
Because listen,
Absolutely not.
starts with Halloween.
Yes.
Then we get Thanksgiving. Then we get Christmas, Hanukkah.
Fair.
We get New Year's Day.
Fair.
We get Martin Luther King Day. Which,
No. The holidays
That's
ends.
a holiday.
The
Nope.
holidays
Then it
ends.
goes to Valentine's Day. Then it goes to St. Patrick's Day.
No.
And then we've got
Nope.
Easter.
Nope.
And it is a season of holidays. Then by that point, we're like, let's just keep going. My birthday is May 5th. Then you get Memorial Day. At which point, holiday season is done. Because you know what? Then you don't have any national holidays that are off from work. But starting with Halloween, you've got decorations, you've got specialty foods, you've got times to get dressed up.
All fair.
So if you have something to be dressed up for, like I'm switching from my Christmas attire on January 1st to hearts so that I could have Valentine's Day attire.
No, to hots.
Yeah, to hots. And then as of February 15th, then it goes to shamrocks. Okay? And then from there, we're talking bunnies.
Oh, this is
If you have...
This is one of the most preposterous things I've ever heard
I think
you
it's the
say.
best thing. Trust me. Halloween, so heck, the holiday season, you could even start, as soon as fall hits and you start wearing some Halloween stuff. You have Halloween decorations up. You are decorating for a holiday. The holiday season is here. And if you decorate through Easter, I'm telling you, half of the year is the holiday season.
No. Holidays
It'll
begins...
change your life.
Halloween
Change your life.
begins on Halloween, and I get that. I'm okay with that.
See, some people will even
and
say no to that.
That's a late addition for me. That's a late addition, but I'll go with it.
How long did we have our tree up for last year? Easter. I know.
No, it wasn't. No, absolutely.
Because we
not.
kept it up through your birthday. I put happy birthday on it. We had St. Patrick's Day. We had Easter stuff. I'm telling you.
No, I think that was
telling
like
you.
the previous year. Last
Still.
year we were on board. I mean, we were ready to go, get rid of that thing. At least I was, because it was up like pre-Thanksgiving.
Happy holidays.
It's preposterous.
Happy
no,
holidays, friends.
holidays goes through Halloween all the way to Happy New Year. That's it. Once the new year hits,
Then you're celebrating another
brand new
holiday.
slate. The holidays ends the year. That's how it goes. Once the new year begins, we're moving on.
We know who's the Grinch.
Oh my goodness. Well,
So,
Marvin, I actually was thinking about this.
Really?
Before we release the Hounds, I got not necessarily an opening take, right? But an opening question, right? And before we get to the opening question, I do want to say go to maryandblake.com, check out all the great podcasts that we have over there. Of course, please do subscribe and like on YouTube or here on the podcast platform that you are listening to this podcast, and write a written review for us as well to help grow the podcast. So, all right, Marvin, an opening question. It's kind of a two-parter, okay?
Okay.
In light of the holidays, what Outlander character would you most want to have over for like a Christmas party? And what Outlander character would you least want to have over for a Christmas party?
As a guest?
As a
or to
guest.
help me?
No, guest, not to help.
Okay.
Help's different. I already know the answer for help.
Oh.
Yeah, that's Lord
Okay.
John.
Oh. For a guest, I would have Marcelly, who's not in this season.
Why would you have Marcelly over?
Oh, she is a friggin' hoot.
Okay,
If someone's causing drama, you know that she's going to slap it down.
sure.
Like if political conversations happen in the holiday season,
She's gonna be
you
like,
know that
nope.
she's going to be like, oh no.
Yep.
I just think she's a hoot.
She's
I
going to
think
throw
she'd
back
be-
a few with
Yes.
you, have fun, play the
she
drinking
would dance.
games.
She
Yep.
would do the Yule dancing with me. Yeah, I would pick Marcelly.
Okay, and who would you least want to have?
Well, how about you?
over?
Who's your number one that you would invite as a guest?
My number one to invite as a guest
Yeah.
would be Frank.
Oh.
And it's not because I'm in love with Frank, although it's true.
to your house. That sounds so fun.
I want to hear all of the weird stuff that he did during the war. I want to hear all the stories. I want to talk to him about it. I
Probably
want
can't
to
even
talk
tell you
about
it. He'll
history.
just say it's
He'll
classified.
throw back a few bourbons with me because I'll get him to drink some bourbon. It'll happen, and then as soon as I get some bourbons in him, he's going to be a little loose. Once he starts to loosen up, have some fun, we know he's down to party. We know he's ready to have a good time. Once that happens, I'll get him to open up.
Okay.
I'll totally get him to open up, and I want to hear all the weird stuff.
Okay.
I don't want to hear like that stuff that's all like written down on paper. No. The things that like you're not proud of.
Yeah.
I want to hear all of that.
Yep.
All right. Who would you least like to have over as a guest?
Rob Cameron.
Yeah, that was
Like-
going to be one of my picks too. But
Like, not only is he a bad guy, but he's like creepy bad,
yeah,
like pervy bad. You know,
Mm-hmm.
just like I just wouldn't trust him in a room with most people.
sure.
And he's not even fun.
You take your kids.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Okay, Bonnet, terrible.
Stephen Bonnet, not great,
Like,
but willing to have a good time.
yes.
Yeah.
So you can't trust him, but you just sit in the other corner and you watch him.
Yep.
And hopefully he's not doing any bad stuff, but he's like, doing something. I almost said gayless, but I also feel like if you could trust her and just watch what she did to other people,
I feel like Galis is the life of the party.
I don't know. I feel like she would spike the punch, or she would
Exactly.
put scallops in it just so I would die because I'm wicked allergic. Like I would not want her there.
Wild card. That's what Galis is.
Yeah, I would
She's
not.
the wild card of the party.
She would be invited if there was a new Housewives or Real Housewives of Rhode Island.
Oh yes.
They'd be like, yeah, we need that gayless girl.
Get that Galis
Which
over
supposedly is being a thing, by the way. For
here. There's
those of
no
you-
way.
Swear to God, if you Google, this is the thing. And it's going to be in Cranston.
There's no chance.
Blake, I'm telling you, all the news outlets are saying the next Housewives is going to be Housewives of Rhode Island.
If it's it would be Housewives of New England.
Because-
it wouldn't be of Rhode Island.
because they
Nobody
want-
cares about Rhode Island.
No, they're going to change it, though. They're going to change it because they realize that, like, the Hoots
Yeah.
were like Jersey, New York,
Sure.
and they know the next level of that is Rhode Island.
It's true. That's a good point.
So, anyway, who would you least likely invite?
I'm going to get a lot of hate on this. I'm going to get a lot of hate. I would not want to invite Lord John. Wouldn't want him over.
You just said that you would want him as help.
Different. If he's helping me, it's going to be the best party ever. But if he's not helping me,
yeah, if he's your guest.
if
and
he's
your
my guest,
friend.
I'm getting judged. I'm getting judged on the party, and I don't want to be judged.
Oh my God.
He's going to nitpick everything. He's going to be like, no, I could have done that better. No, I
He
could have done
wouldn't
that.
say it out
No.
loud to you.
Maybe he wouldn't say it, but he's thinking it.
That's-
And the whole time, I'm going to be worried about what Lord John's thinking.
Well, that's a you problem.
You asked me who I wouldn't want over.
Oh my God.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a me problem.
Here I am worried about like someone stealing a child, someone raping someone, and you're like, I just don't want Lord John to not like how I folded my
Right.
my napkins.
And you know he's got a complicated drink order. You know he's got he's gonna go there
Says you.
and he's gonna want like
Oh my God.
vodka straight from Russia. You can't go get any Stoli. You can't get any of that. He's gonna want fresh picked oranges.
Blake,
He ain't
wouldn't.
just like a simple Cape Codder.
He can handle a lot. He's been through a lot in life.
I'm just telling you, he's got a complicated
My
drink
help
order.
would be misfits.
He would want to make sure that the olives are hand stuffed with
Oh my
blue
God.
cheese.
You are too much.
Too much.
You
And
are too much,
I'm just
Blake.
worried that I'm just going to be sitting there the whole time looking at Lord John's judgy eyes. If, however, I had him as my party planner, he and David Totera, you could just put them in for each other. Like they are changeable, interchangeable. It would be the best party you ever seen if Lord John is running a Christmas party. I mean, did you see the dress that he got, Claire?
I did.
Oh, good new stuff, man. All right. That's that. I just thought that'd be fun. Let us know who you would like and dislike as an Outlander character to come to your parties for the next so on, so forth of the Outlander listener feedback episodes as we move forward. All right, Marvin, are you ready to release the hounds?
I am.
Let's do it.
All right, all right, all right.
All right, so we got this episode, 7-11. Again, thank you so much for all of your patience as all this is going on. The first comment, and most of these comments, are coming from jointhenerdclan.com, the special place for all of you nerds who love Outlander and all things Mary and Blake. This one comes from Nicole Walsh, Mary. Nicole says, wow, what an episode. There were so many goods, but the standout was Claire and John's conversation in the bed the morning after the big event, and his honesty and openness with her. Especially think of the deer, my dear.
Yes.
When she asks what happens next. I also really like the scene between William and Lord John when he cups his face. This conversation wasn't in the book, but it could have been, and Bree clouding Rob Cameron with the saucepan.
Yes.
No one messes with Bree's kids. The bad. Captain Richardson admitting to Claire that he is a rebel spy at the dance. This was so bad. Talk about a total lack of discretion, as if we had any doubt he's a baddie. And the great Jamie's rival reunion with Claire and William, finding out about his true paternity. The acting by everyone was superb, and Claire's smile at the end was pure magic.
Nicole, I agree. I love that smile. Peg Rogers wrote in, finally a real Outlander episode filled with relationships and strong writing and acting. This is one of my favorite episodes of the whole Outlander series.
Wow, that's a hot
rare
take.
5 kilts for me, says Peg. Peg also says her good. Rogers' story continues to intrigue me. It's not action-packed, but it's such a good story between him and Buck and the possibility of meeting his father. Her great. Ian and Rachel's story blossomed this episode. I loved the prayer for Jamie to Ian's sharing of his Mohawk wife and son, and the best. All things Claire and Lord John, every scene, every connection, their acting was just phenomenal, so emotional and raw. They are really the key to why this episode is so darn good. I'd sure like to see some award shows acknowledge their acting prowess. For me, every scene was written and delivered so well. Cameron showing his true evil self, Bree the badass, John and William's conversation after the marriage, Claire finally making the right decision to not spy on her husband, Ian and Claire's conversation about her returning, and Ian losing 2 fathers, and of course Jamie's return, William learning the secret and acting much like Bree did when she learned her secret, and the silly smile on Claire's face when Jamie rushes out with John ahead of the soldiers. Chef's kiss.
All right. Where are we on the whole awards talk for Outlander, Mary? Do you
I've
think...
given up on award shows long ago. I don't
okay.
believe them.
Yep.
I don't trust in them.
How come?
'Cause I've never believed in them since the local movie reviewer gave Hook 1 star with Robin Williams, scored by John Williams. 1 star? You kidding me? I was in like 5th grade, 6th grade. I saw that and I was like, that was bloody
That was
brilliant.
That was the
That
final
was it.
straw.
I was a mere bairn. And I gave up on other people reviewing and taking into consideration what they think of what I think.
And look at the profession that you're in now. All right, let's get to the first voicemail, shall we?
Hi, Blake and Mary. This is Gina. I'm a first-time caller, long-time listener.
All right.
I love your podcast and your humor so much, and I look forward to listening to you guys every single week.
Thank you, Gina.
My good this week was probably Ian and Rachel. Their relationship is very sweet and tender, and I like how he explained everything to her. I am a bit surprised that they're already kissing, but I don't know. My great was obviously whenever Jamie walked into the room, and their expressions were priceless, and that whole event was perfect. My bad for this episode was the unbelievability of Mandy always sleeping. Like, I have 3 children and they pretty much don't sleep in the daytime. So the fact that she slept in the car last episode and then she was asleep in the daytime in this episode is just a little unbelievable. So that was my bad. But thank you for all that you do. And also, I'm from Texas. Bye.
Maybe it's a little whiskey on the gums.
Oh.
Not allowed anymore, friends.
No, definitely not allowed. Definitely
Didn't your
not
mom
allowed.
do things like that to you?
No, she gave me NyQuil. Hey, go to bed.
So I mean, it was the 80s, so it's like...
It's just place was wild. Best things happened in the 80s.
No.
Yeah, our kids never slept. Ever.
Still don't.
They still don't.
Now our dog keeps you up.
Oh, driving me crazy.
Don't get a dog.
I love dogs. I can't say don't get a dog.
Listen,
Mary, is it a kiss too far? Is it a kiss too far for Ian and Rachel?
They're engaged now.
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
All right. Fair. All right.
I don't know.
But I agree with you, Gina. The fact that Mandy's sleeping all the time, get out of here with that. All right, here we go.
No, the one that made me the maddest, Gina, was The Walking Dead.
Oh, that
when
was the
they
worst.
Had a baby.
Oh.
And somehow that baby didn't cry enough to get them all killed by zombies. If you haven't watched that show and you watch even just the first couple of seasons and you're not mad at that quiet baby.
Baby Charlotte. That just doesn't do anything, ever. Get out of here. If that was us when we had
Our
Reese,
colicky child.
oh my God, we'd be dead.
We would have been eaten.
We would have been dead instantly.
Yeah.
All right, let's get the next one.
Hi, Mary and Blake. My name is Liz. I'm calling to give my reaction to Outlander Season 7, Episode 10, Brotherly Love.
Hi, Liz.
I also wanted to see if you guys could maybe guess where I'm from, and I'll give you a little hint. I live in the same hometown as Bear McCreary, and my daughter is actually attending the same high school that he went to.
Oh, cool.
I don't have a GBG
Blake's
for this
Googling
episode,
it. Stop, Blake.
but
I
there were
already
some
know.
things I just
Press
wanted to point
pause.
out. I didn't care
pause.
for
All right, hold on.
But
Hold
you're
on.
already
the
Googling.
whole...
Huh? I didn't Google it yet.
He's from West Coast.
Yeah.
I feel like he was from... Oh, because he lives in California
Yeah, he
now.
lives. I bet you he
But
lives
I-
in L.A. now.
But I think he grew up like in the Seattle area, like
yeah, but his daughter
like
goes to
Washington.
the same school that she went to. So it's not his hometown. It's where he lives now. That's her hometown.
oh, he's in California,
Yeah.
I believe.
My guess is that it's L.A. I didn't Google it.
You were his
I was
face
about
is
to.
on your computer right
I
now.
didn't say where does he live. I just put Bear McCreary.
But you remember how he
'Cause
told
you
us
caught me
about
before I
growing
could-
up and
before I
going
could
to
type
the
it.
Highland games, and that's how he fell in love with his bagpipes.
Yeah, the way that I interpreted it was that Liz lives where he lives right now, and that is Liz's hometown.
Okay.
She said, my hometown is the same thing as Bear.
Oh.
Okay, sorry, go ahead. Here we go, Liz.
Claire and Denzel storyline, I just found that rather boring. I also thought that the scene with Rachel and Mr. Bug was horrendous when he tries to
Yeah.
suffocate her.
Yes.
I kept asking myself, what am I watching right now? So hopefully we don't have any more of those types of scenes. I did like the scene, though, with Rachel and Ian in the end, where they have that tender moment where she calls him her wolf, or references that he is her wolf. And then I am also really excited to see what happens with Roger and the dog tags of his father. I don't know if anybody else noticed this, but there is a brief scene in the trailer where it shows a man running with Buck that has a bomber jacket. I'm not sure if anybody else caught that, but I'm really excited to see where that storyline takes us. And I am from Bellingham, Washington. Thank you.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough. What? You're looking at me funny.
Because I was right.
Yeah. Whatevs.
Like,
Whatevs. Whatevs. Listen. Fine. All right, let's get to the next one.
Hi, Mary and Blake. This is Amy from Portland, Oregon. I'm a longtime listener, first-time caller. I had to call in for this episode. I have to say, I have never laughed so hard through such a dramatic episode of Outlander. From the look on Claire's face during her wedding ceremony to Lord John Grey, to her screaming and pounding hard liquor in her room, in her grief over losing Jamie, to finally and awkwardly waking up in bed to Lord John Grey after a very weirdly cut scene of them clutching at each other. I squirmed through the entire thing. I did miss Jamie, though, even in the short time he was supposedly dead. And his arrival at the end of the episode made me feel like everything was right again in the world of Outlander. I love you both. You feel like friends to me.
Aw.
Thank you so much for everything you do. We love your podcast.
Aw, thanks, Amy. Mary, did you laugh as much as Amy did
During the sex?
during the sex scene
Quote.
and all the lack of sex, really, but just basically through all the dramatic scenes of this episode?
I didn't laugh.
Yeah,
I didn't
I kind of chuckled a little bit with the whole Claire screaming thing. It was a little much.
Oh.
It was a little much.
Okay.
It's like,
I was in grief.
let's take it back a little bit here. Take it back, just a step back. I'm not saying like delete it, just a step back.
I wanted a little tush.
Just,
I know it's a lot to ask.
Just a little LJG tush.
Listen, I'm on like a Bridgerton hiatus right now. I need a little
You got to
tush.
get something. All right, this one comes from Laurel here at jointhenerdclan.com. She says, 5 kilts, obviously. I have a good, better, and a best. Good. Sir Gifts-a-Lot. Wow, so admirable here. Loved the respect he has for Claire, immediately calling her my dear and playing team despite Claire. His character is amazing. The gift scene was so beautiful. Of course it was beautiful. He Sir Gifts-a-Lot. Also, his Philadelphia house is filled with wall sconce eye candy and a casual ball run. Oh my God. The better. William shutting down Peggy Chew 3 times in 1 minute was hilarious. Also, really loving Buck and Roger's storyline. Buck is a great travel buddy. And the best, obviously, Jamie returning. Wasn't expecting him to storm up the stairs. It was such a great scene and hilarious how Claire was just like, see ya, Lord John. No thank you, nothing. She was just ready to get back into action with Jamie and all the redcoats chasing him. She has an outlandish theory. Captain Richardson is going to be real important to J and C soon, like maybe be able to get them out of trouble. What a crazy episode. All the kilts, and thankfully we didn't see Dougal's kilt flying at Galus. There are numerous greats. Actually, wait, sorry, that's the next one. I apologize.
Okay.
That's the next one. Here we go. Yeah. The next one talks about Dougal and the kilt flying at Galus. There are numerous greats and one real bad for me. No meh this week for me. Finally, I feel like the flow of this episode was much better. Not too fast, not too jolted. I'll be curious to see what it'll be like to watch these 3 recent episodes back to back, if they would flow more together on a binge versus weekly releases. Maybe it's all shortbread and whiskey I had during this episode, but this had so many amazing things in it. Claire, in her grief, was again riveting and crushing. I think the show chose the right way to frame her grief and struggle with taking her own life. I've had dark moments where it's easy to think I could go on, and I can't go on. And it was the realization that my kids were much worse off without me than with me that helped me fight to stay. It's also sweet to see how much Ian loves Claire. That to lose his father, Jamie, and Claire, if she chose to go back to the future, would be so hard on him. Ian lets Claire know that she is loved and not alone, and to hear her admit that the future doesn't feel like home anymore is that reminder that home is the people you love.
Yes.
She and Jamie were committed to helping create America for Bree, so here she will stay, even if it means dancing with spies and going to one social event a week. As for the big event, as us readers call it, aka John and Claire, not grieving alone, I'll be curious to see what non-book readers think. I was so mad at Diana and Claire when I first read this, but it took subsequent reads to understand what a dark place Claire and John both were in, and trying to put the pieces of their lives back together. Poor LJG had scratches all over his chest, so he took a good beating by Claire's punching bag. By being Claire's punching bag during their relations. I think it was tastefully shot to show them sleeping together was not about cheating or getting over Jamie or lust. They both had some big emotions and lots of alcohol and took their pain out on each other. Pain bonds people, and while their marriage was short-lived in an odd way, them both loving Jamie and being married, they're allowed them to be honest with someone about how bad their grief was. John can't tell anyone. We see that from William questioning LJG about marrying Claire. And Claire wouldn't and couldn't put that pain on Ian. There aren't therapists in Philly.
Nope.
Claire can't go to the gym to work out some of those emotions. I mean, her gym these past 10 years, has been Jamie Fraser.
Agreed.
Mary, how did you feel about this scene when you were reading the book? Were you mad about it, like this commenter, or did you care? Were you like, okay, well, that makes sense? Like, what did you feel?
Well, I haven't had personal grief of this nature.
Sure.
I haven't lost either of my parents yet. I've talked about this a few times on the show that, like, I have had miscarriage losses and I've had loss of friend, but I haven't had that kind of a level of loss.
Mm-hmm.
So it was hard to kind of feel a bit. On the flip side, tastefully done as well. Like, what is in the show is kind of how it's in the book.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not
a lot
gratuitous.
of details.
Yeah. And yeah, they're drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Both parties are drunk. I don't know, like, awkward,
Mm-hmm.
but also these are two grown adults, and you know, they both think Jamie is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I wasn't mad,
Sure.
if that makes sense.
I think from just a show watcher only perspective,
Yeah.
I kind of look at it like, well, they're doing what they got to do.
And Claire's a physical being. We're told that in episode 1 of
Yeah.
Outlander.
Sure.
So, you know, not ideal, but also understandable.
Yeah. So I'm not mad at Claire or Lord John. I think it's just it was a natural consequence to the situation that they were in. But the other hand of it all is more like, I know that Jamie's not dead, right? So to me, this is more about Jamie's reaction than what Lord John and Claire did. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I know he's not dead, so it's not going to make a difference. Like I'm not mad because they're just doing what they're doing.
It's just going to be interesting to see Jamie's reaction to all of this.
Yep. All right, why don't you read Jennifer, please?
All right. Jennifer says, "Call me overzealous, but I am giving episode 11, 100 of Stones, a whopping 5+ kilts.
Whoa, hot
Jennifer,
take.
You are now overzealous.
Coming in from the clouds.
Don't worry. I've been giving these episodes 5, so I totally appreciate it.
5+.
Jennifer says, for someone like me who prizes well-crafted dialogue and character relationships above all else, this episode was a veritable embarrassment of riches. As such, I have a GGB, a good, great, and best instead of a GBG.
All right, let's
My
see what you
good
got.
is the conversation in which young Ian tells Rachel about his first wife and child. It was beautifully acted with natural humor and affection between the two characters, especially when Rachel says something along the lines of, dude, they hasn't actually asked to marry thee. And Ian's like, I didn't. Great stuff between these two. It feels like they're already married. My great is the masterful way in which the central tension of this episode pivots from the obvious non-question of, is Jamie actually DED dead? Yeah, right. To the exponentially more engaging question of, holy mother-forking shirt balls. How is Jamie going to react when he comes back and finds out that Sir Gifts-a-Lot has finally outdone himself by giving Claire the ostentatiously extravagant gift of grief-stricken consolation rumpy-pumpy. I'm going to go out on a limb and predict that Jamie's reaction will not be great, Bob. Not great, Bob. Granted, they thought he was dead, and John and Claire were sort of married when it happened, but I somehow doubt that Jamie Fraser will be pacified by the argument that stats are for nerds. Mark me, friends. This is Outlander, and at its deliciously soapy best, exquisite drama through well-earned, complex character relationships, and I am here for it. My best, finally, this remarkable episode goes even a step further by giving us that exquisitely honest, albeit awkward, morning after conversation between Claire and John, in which they achieve a momentary understanding and some sense of reconciliation. It was a welcome shred of connection between these two often opposed characters. I found this scene to be genuinely lovely and true to the messy emotional math intrinsic to Claire and John's complicated history. Well done, Outlander. No notes. Says Jennifer.
You know what, Jennifer? Listen, you got a Chernobyl-sized hot take of it being a 5+ kilt episode. Despite that, however, I'm going to give you this. Makes me want to shout. That was a well-written comment and getting in so many great inside jokes and references and all the Mary and Blake stuff. I have to give you an outstanding.
Agreed.
Excellent job. All right, let's get to the next
You know
voicemail.
what? One thing
What?
during their Claire and John's little banter session, though, was when he was like, Jamie once offered me his baddie. And Claire's like, I know. You told me.
He just wanted to stick it to her
wanted
just
to
one
say
more
it
time.
One more time.
Just one more time.
John.
See?
There's a time and place.
Judgy. He's going to needle you every once in a while. That's why I'm afraid to have him at my house for a party, because he's going to needle you. He's going to give you the Jamie wanted to have my body. He was going to give it up
Jamie
to me.
didn't want to have my body.
You
Jamie
know what I mean?
offered-
You know what I mean? Stats for nerds. He's willing to needle. And I don't want the needling. I'm out on the needling. All right, let's get the next. Mary doesn't even want to say anything to me. She doesn't even want. She's just. I'm not even going. She's just flicking me away. Here we go.
Hi, Mary and Blake. I am an avid listener to your podcast. I absolutely love it and look forward to it every season we get with Outlander.
Thank you.
I am from Arizona, and I am also a music teacher. So I love all of the things that you guys put in
All right.
about your family and things too, because it's just fun getting to know you guys and those little things. And I was dying laughing about the salads with no lettuce
The worst.
from Thanksgiving. That is such a Midwestern thing to do. I'm actually from North Carolina, but living out in Arizona now. So anyway, my things for the latest episode 11 are, oh my goodness, their expressions. Like if you just watch their faces, Claire was just so spot on with nothing. She had no expression. So believable. I thought the timing was really good. It's been a little choppy and confusing and kind of smushed together, but I thought this one really had a lot better timing and time stamps. And I just loved how they pieced it together. It was just a really well done.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I agree.
Mary, should the no salad conversation be inducted into the Mary and Blake Hall of Fame?
I don't know how long it went on for.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Should it be inducted into the Mary and Blake Hall of Fame?
If you think it should.
Well, we'll put it to the nerds. Nerds, what do you think? If the salad not salad conversation should be inducted? I think we're past the waiting point now. I think we've given it consideration. Let's have a thought about that. All right, let's get to the next one.
Hi, Mary and Blake. This is Sarah, first-time caller.
Hi, Sarah.
My kilt rating is 5 kilts, but honestly, it's always going to be 5 kilts because I'm a book reader, and just anything they adapt to the screen is fine with me. I'm happy to be here.
Love her.
Do you know what I mean?
You're on Mary's vibe.
I have to say, as a book reader, when the camera turned to Lord John Grey and that slutty little pirate blouse
Yes.
with chest hair popping out, I knew exactly what was coming, if you know what I mean. But I'm so happy with that side quest that Roger's on right now. I'm happy every time a new episode comes out, and I'm happy every time you guys drop a new podcast.
Oh.
I'm a proud member of the Nerd Clan, and I love it
Sarah.
here. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for what you do.
Oh, Sarah.
Slutty pirate.
Sarah. Oh, yes. I'm just going to say, We all knew what was coming.
That's what she said.
Great job, Sarah. Excellent call. You call back anytime you want. Let's do one more.
Hi, this is Kimberly,
Hi,
from
Kimberly.
the greater Cincinnati area in northern Kentucky
Hi,
with
Kimberly.
episode 711 feedback. I just want to say that the not salad discussion had me in stitches, and that will be one of the signature clips for this season. This episode was a blast for book readers who finally get to see how the marriage of Claire and Lord John and its consummation look on screen. To be honest, some book readers think this is a jump the shark moment for the book series, so I will be curious what the reaction will be now that they've seen it play out on screen. I thought it was very innovative filming and editing, which somehow made it make sense. I'm giving this episode a 4.8 kilt rating. My good is Rob Cameron's creepy dialogue with Bree, and then Bree whacking him upside the head.
Yes.
I was so stunned I stopped breathing for a moment.
Ooh.
My bad is that Katrina Belf hasn't yet received an Emmy for her acting in this series.
Right?
We can only imagine the dark places Kate must go to find such depth of emotion for her scenes. My great is the dialogue for this episode. So well written, intimate, and natural. It pulls you in. Like Claire and John's bedroom scene, and also when Claire accuses John in the carriage of bigotry toward Henry and Mercy, but John's rationale is solid. The subsequent disagreement reveals the complexity of such an issue, and that, as in the real world, a verdict is not as black and white as we might think. Bye for now.
Absolutely.
The complexity of it all. It's just a lot. It is a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. And I think, Outlander, when it does what it's supposed to do, when it does, when it sticks to the character part of it, and it sticks to developing the relationships between people, it does itself well. And I don't think, Mary, that the relations between characters and the conversations between the characters being so good this episode is a coincidence. Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because, again, this episode was written by Tony Graffia.
Yes, our girl.
So I don't think that it's a coincidence. All right, let's read the next comment. Mary, what do you got?
Caitlin Spencer writes in, I'm going to give this one a 4.5 kilt rating. I really liked this episode, but it wasn't till the last 2 minutes that I really enjoyed it. My good, Bree going full tangled and smacking Rob Cameron in the face with a frying pan. So satisfying. I laughed out loud at that part. My bad, that scene between Lord John and Claire. When Claire first went to her medicine box, I was like, oh no, not that storyline again. But then it got really weird. I felt so uncomfortable, and maybe that's how we're supposed to feel about it, but I just thought it was a weird way for either of them to grieve. My great was Jamie running into the room and Claire running to him. You could visibly see the relief of them being back together.
Caitlin, I really like your thought here, and I kind of agree with you about her going to the medicine box, and this is why I'm really happy that they included the whole ether controversy, back in season 6 or whatever it was. Because if anything, that is now in your head for this moment where you're like, ooh, is she going to go back to this? And you kind of wouldn't blame her if she did. And also, is there a point where too much is too much, right? Does she do this thing and then potentially harm herself from doing this thing? Right? I actually liked the callback to that. Mary, what do you think?
I think the show has made us see Claire use substances from day one. A lot of people do. A lot of people do on a varying scale. And so this is within Claire's character. And she has gone big bouts of not utilizing anything. And she's had crazy, terrible trauma happen in her life multiple times. So for her to desire escape, desire a little numbness, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, there's no therapist right now. There's no psych meds that she can easily have. She doesn't know about yoga. She can't go on a retreat and do some journal healing. Claire honestly doesn't even have girlfriends.
No, she doesn't.
And it makes me sad for Claire. She doesn't have her village of people. She doesn't have a circle of friends that can kind of talk therapy her through some stuff. So I'm not saying her leaning on substances is right, but I'm saying that the show has told us, whether it's through drinking or through ether, that she has seen these as ways to make herself feel better in one way or another. I saw it, though, as I'm going to end my life, not just I'm going to like take a little off, but I'm going to end my life. And then, of course, we see her then with a scalpel.
Exactly.
So, but once again, we've seen Claire go through incredible amounts of trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And there are times in many people's lives where they ponder things. So difficult to see, yes, hard, and very sad. But yeah, that's how I feel about in regards to her little medicine cabinet, is that she does know that there are options, albeit not right and not safe options, but she knows that there's options for her.
Ellen Sullivan says, loved this episode. It had all the feels. Claire and LJ's wedding ceremony was the most heartbreaking wedding ever. Claire saying her vows in the lowest, saddest voice. She was barely hanging on. I thought Lord John was so admirable, risking his reputation and social standing by marrying Claire to save her and family members and friends from the noose.
Can we stop?
Sure.
That priest gave 0 Fs that she was like crying the entire time.
Yeah, he's there for. He's just doing his job.
What the heck?
He's got no time for.
I would have liked a little like, hey, I'm trying to save her life, and she's just missing her old guy. Like, how do you know she's not being forced
Here's the thing,
into
Mary.
this?
When you go that quick, when you move in that quickly, you find in the first guy that says yes. You don't have time to go through all of the other priests. You can't do the interviews.
I'm just saying, this priest
He's
was
a hired gun. That's what he is. He's a hired gun.
Hate it.
It was something to make them feel alive and remember Jamie was having sex, and liked their morning after convo and the way their coupling was explained as an alcohol-infused dream. Also liked the beautiful gifts John chose for Claire. That man can shop. Richardson's dance with Claire was well unexpected. He didn't seem threatening to Claire, but he isn't trustworthy. Rachel and Ian were adorable together. Yay to Brianna for knocking out despicable Rob Cameron. Girl power, loving the duo of Roger and Buck. They will work well together and can't wait till they find Roger's dad. Finally, Jamie coming back to Philly was priceless. Again, LJ's expression said it all. Shock, wonder, heartbreak, that he couldn't show Jamie how much he grieved for him. Lost his fledgling bond with Claire. Anguish that Charles found out that he is Jamie's son in such a shocking way.
William.
What? William. Yeah, that's what I said. Didn't I?
Charles.
Oh, Charles
Okay, yeah.
Vandervaart is the kid's name. Yeah, sure, whatever. Stats for nerds.
Okay.
I felt so sorry for Jamie, William, and Lord John when William's paternity is revealed. Excellent episode. One thing I do want to mention after this comment, I feel like the whole Rob Cameron Jemmy thing is just it's lost its momentum. And it feels like it feels like an afterthought.
Which it shouldn't, because it's a BFD, a big friggin' deal.
Oh, yeah.
But I agree with you. You're just having too much fun with Buck and Roger.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like them forgetting why the heck they're even there.
Right, exactly.
And then you're too busy with Lord John Graying.
Yeah. It feels like an afterthought.
You're blown away by him that you could care less about sleeping Mandy and Bree.
Yep.
And you're like, nothing you can do, Rob Cameron, could surprise me. This is a time-traveling show, and Lord John Grey just had sex with Claire.
Right.
What are we doing here?
This is a really big deal. And the fact that it's taking such a back seat to all of this,
It'll have its moment, and it has to have its moment.
I really hope that it does.
It will. I'm telling you, it will. But yeah, they just have to. It's like a soap opera. You got to fit in some of the storylines, and it's like, well, we have to show some of the progress. We have to connect some of the pieces, but whether it's the Ian and Rachel thing or the Rob Cameron and the Bree thing, they're small compared to Lord John Grey stuff in this episode.
You know what it is? I think, Mary, now that I'm thinking about it, I think that the problem is Buck and Roger got on the daddy thing like before we saw Rob Cameron. And it just...
But that's the point, is that you're supposed to think they're there because they think Rob's there.
No, I know. But before we saw Rob with Bree, they had already kind of moved on to Roger checking out on Jemmy and
he's not
going to
checking
see his
out.
dad.
He's saying that they must be connected. This is going to help us. So Roger feels that there's a purpose for all of this.
But
he's not
it
giving
definitely
up on
feels
Jemmy.
like on their end, Jemmy has like...
Roger's too calm.
He's way more into seeing his dad than checking out for Jemmy.
The show version is not showing the anxiety that I would be feeling right now if I lost my kid potentially in time.
Exactly. Like there's no urgency. It's just kind of like, yeah, we'll have a drink. Yeah. Hey, do you see that coat over there? Check that out. Yeah.
It's just taking a little too long.
It's like there's no urgency. And because of that, the Rob Cameron thing is just taking a back seat.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
And it's going to have its time. But I appreciate all of this.
Okay. Tammy says, long-time listener, first-time commenter. I've been waiting for this scene for so many years, and it did not disappoint. I give it 4.9 kilts. My good was Jamie barreling in, and yet another Jamie and Claire reunion. I didn't even mind the obligatory, what is life without Jamie Fraser dramatic heavy breathing, as they embraced. My bad. The Rachel and Ian kiss. While I found his vulnerability and openness with her endearing, when Rachel responded, I felt a butt coming on. However, instead, she leaned in for a forced, awkward kiss. My great, the morning
Can
after.
I talk about this kiss?
Sure.
This is our first kiss ever.
Yeah, it's not going to be great.
So there's someone close in my life who married someone who'd never been physical and only kissed
Before they got married.
when they were engaged.
Oh.
Like promised religious-wise that they wouldn't kiss anyone until they were engaged. And that is what this person did.
I love that for them.
And when I asked the person who I'm close with, so how was the kiss? They said not great.
Not great, Bob.
But this person had been physical all their life.
Sure.
With multiple people. And so I was like, yeah, what were you expecting? Like most people's first kisses are, junior high school.
Yeah.
Sloppy, weird, figuring things out. And you've got a full-grown adult coming over with some horse lips. You thought it was going to be good?
Please, no!
Wait till your wedding night, man. Like, whoa, hold on. So, to me, it being an awkward first kiss is understandable and is, in my opinion, realistic. Especially after knowing what I know.
Oh, that person must have had some second thoughts after that point. I'm just going to...
They're not together anymore.
Oh, okay. We know Claire can be a freak in the sheets. She's got the mound of Venus to prove it. Men will not venture far from her bed. John knew she was spicy before, but now he knows that heat on a whole other level. All right, Tammy. Hey, girl. Hey. All right, let's get the next voicemail.
Hello, this is Kirsten with my feedback for
Hi,
Outlander
Kirsten.
Season 7, Episode 11. We really got it all in this episode, so I have a lot of options for my GBG. But for my good, I'm going to go with Ian and Rachel. It was perfect. And if you go back and look at the scene of them sitting on that log together and how they centered them in the frame, it was so artistic and so beautiful. And also the way they paralleled Ian's son being raised by someone else to the way that William was being raised by someone else. It was beautiful storytelling as well. So that was a wonderful good.
All right.
My bad. The first cutscene, back to Brianna in Lallybrook, 2 seconds long. All she does is tuck me in bed. and slam her hand in a drawer. She doesn't even say a single word. And in the episode that is moment after moment moving at a extremely fast pace, it seemed like a waste of time. I think they could have put the entire Brianna scene into something all together, maybe the second to last part of the episode, and it would have been even better than the way that they did it. And my great was David Barry all day, every day. He was amazing. Listen, I'm a happily married woman, but I would not kick him out of bed for eating crackers, if you know what I'm saying. He did a wonderful job. He was so emotional. Every scene, I felt what he was feeling. Beautifully acted. So handsome. It was amazing.
David Barry shows up to your house. I feel like
With Ritz.
It's
Maybe wheat thins.
it's only good things coming from that day. Only good things. Your Triscuits are going to be warm. I'll tell you that.
Gross. Let's get warm. Gross.
Let's get to the next one.
Hey, Mary and Blake. This is Cheryl Overby from Omaha, Nebraska.
Hey, Cheryl.
I gave this episode 5+ kilts. So I have a good, a great, and the best.
Okay.
The scene in the carriage with Lord John Grey saying, I know what it's like when your love is a crime. He put Claire in her place. I have all the respect for David Barry's performance. I thought the great thing was the mustard yellow sheets and all the pillow talk that happened there. It was sweet, authentic, humorous, and they told the truth to each other about how they were each trying to jump Jamie's bones. And I think they should have a store for those sheets. Instead of Ethan Allen, let's call it Lord John Grey Interiors. What are they? Bamboo? Linen? Dyed of saffron? I want to know.
Yes.
And the best was that I thank my lucky stars that the people at Stars that I didn't have to see Claire and Lord John banging it out. It's not unlike when you've got a teenager in the basement with their date. You know what's happening, but no one wants to see that up close.
Oh, no.
Whatever the method is of showing something, then having a black screen for a full second, multiple times was perfect. Had a buildup of emotions and the time and space to imagine briefly what was actually happening. I loved it. Mary, I met you in 2016 at the Outlander convention in Davenport, Iowa.
Oh, my God,
That
yes.
was 8 years ago, and I've listened to every Outlander podcast since. Keep doing what you're doing. Bye.
That convention in Iowa was so freaking cool. Through the Stones. Oh, good to hear from you.
Isn't that nice?
Yes. However, now I'm mortified. Now, mind you, we don't have teenage children yet.
That's true.
Never going to let them down to our basement.
Never. Not
hearing
once.
that.
Doors are open the entire time. You can't even play music. You know Lord John's got like a 40 billion count sheet. You know he's got that. And it's like pure Egyptian
Bamboo.
20 million thread bamboo sheets. The best of the best, only for Lord John.
Agreed.
All right, let's get the next voicemail.
Hey, this is Angie in Georgia giving my feedback for episode 711. Oofty, this one was tough for me. I'm going to give it like a 3.7. I did not enjoy this part of the book, so I wasn't expecting to enjoy this part of the show. My good is going to have to be Claire's dress. Oh my God, Lord John's gift giving on point. That dress was gorgeous. My bad is the whole like sex scene. I don't know. I cannot imagine a time when I would get so blotto that I had sex with my gay best friend thinking of my husband. Like I don't know. It seems very unrealistic and weird. I just like the conversation after was cute, but besides that, it was just I don't know. It gives me the like EB-jeebs. My great was obviously Jamie walking back in and being like, yo, what up? Guess I'm not dead. So yeah, loved that part. Can't wait for next week. Because, with William's little realization there, that's going to be fun. Hope you guys are having a great evening. Love you. Talk to you later. Bye.
Heather Jackson says, I give it 5 kilts. My good. Roger and Buck's quest storyline is the time travel mystery we need this season. My bad. Rob Cameron going from vaguely creepy neighbor to greedy, murderous, knife-wielding kidnapper comes out of nowhere. I hope this storyline gets more time in the next episodes to make sense of this character and what is his deal.
I mean, Buck never felt good about him, so
that's true.
Trust in Buck.
That's true. Trust Buck, except when he's trying to hang you from a tree.
True.
That's not a great trusting moment.
Don't trust Dougal Buck. Trust new Buck.
Yeah, the whole the Rob Cameron thing, it does feel...
You have to give it some time.
It feels out of left field, just in general. That's okay. My great. As a book reader, I found this episode just as wild as I imagined it would be. I laughed out loud at the awkward yet frank morning after, and I thought the show did a fine job portraying fragmented memories of the drunken night before. I was spellbound when Willie reacted with shock and anger, finding out his father is not who he thought. Love the big emotions. Looking forward to more. Mary, take the next one for us, please.
The next one is RR Studio. This episode, hands down, presented one of the most iconic scenes we have ever seen on Outlander. And overall, the cast added more depth to their characters through some fine writing and terrific performances. The good Roger and Buck finding the flight jacket, further unraveling the mystery in the past, and simultaneously coming to the realization of Jem's whereabouts at the same time as Brianna. The bad, John Hunter Bell, showed us a full range of Ian, from the playful kid we first met to the mature Scott, intoning a Gaelic prayer for the dead, and the Mohawk he has become, who likes the Scott he is with the children and mourns their loss. The scene where he goes from flirting with Rachel to telling her about Emily was masterfully performed. My only quibble is I feel their connection is forced. It may be the lag between the seasons, not sure. And the great, holy, smokin' hot. The chemistry between Claire and Lord John Grey. That morning after conversation has to be one of the most iconic moments in the series. Katrina is so good, it's easy to forget how effortless she is. But David Barry as Lord John Grey was more than up to the task, as it were. His exceptional range was on full display, and particularly good was his explanation of why he would forbid his nephew from marrying Mercy. Okay, when that giant-ass box appeared, it was pure Sir Gifts-a-Lot. I'll wait and see myself out later. However, when Jamie showed up, I was like, Jamie, who? He looked washed out next to the nuanced red coat in the room, who has truly forged a bond with Claire. Then classic Jamie, one step ahead of the sheriff, takes over, and the look of delight on Claire's face says it all. Willie, get off your high horse. The king of men is your da, and he solemnly swears to be up to no good. 5+ kilts. P.S. Sorry the Lord John Grey series was scrapped. Barry is the Lord John Grey of the books.
Mary, I cannot believe how many 5+ kilts this episode got.
Why? I love this episode.
I've never seen, honest God, in any show that we have done, in any show that we have covered, this many 5+ ratings for one given episode.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
I don't know. 5+ is a big. That means it's one of the best episodes of television you've ever seen.
Well, that's how these people feel.
It's whew. Chernobyl takes left and right here. All right. This one comes from Becca. She says, wow, what an intense episode. Katrina Balfe and David Barry are convincing grief sex participants with subsequent post-coital pillow talk. Ian and Rachel are the cutest, and even though Blake called it, I was shocked and also scared about the revelation that Jemmy didn't go through the stones. My kilt rating is a 4.75. My good, the blue dress Lord John gave Claire, he's allowing for her to be herself, a rebel in a room full of loyalists. Ooh, I love this. I love that, Becca. Great pull. My bad. Why in God's name would Captain Richardson divulge the fact that he is a rebel spy trying to recruit Claire in the middle of a dance floor of a loyalist party? My great.
Fool.
The last 4 minutes of the episode was everything from the reveal that Jamie is alive to William finding out Jamie is his real father and Will cursing him in Lord John Grey to William then defending Jamie from the Redcoats and Jamie taking Lord John hostage to Claire's look of bewilderment turned into a wry smile. It was brilliant and I could watch it over and over and over again. At least it wasn't a 5+.
Oh my God, please. Hate is gonna hate.
All right, here we go. Sorry, my voicemails. There we go.
Hi, Mary and Blake. It's Sarah from South Carolina.
Hi, Sarah.
Hey, Sarah.
I'm loving the podcast this season,
Thank
or
you.
the second part of the season. This is my first time calling in this season, and I just loved this episode. It was amazing. My rating is 4.9 kilts, and my good is the opening marriage scene between Claire and Lord John. Katrina's acting is just phenomenal this whole season. And this particular scene was just torturous to watch. She was so good. That look that she gives William when she's saying her vows, I could just see how she's looking for some sign of Jamie in this moment. And she looks to him because she recognizes Jamie in him. And my bad was Rachel's bonnet. It's giving me Finding Nemo, like a fish with 5 fins vibes, and I just thought it was a poor choice. My real bad is actually, I'm loving Roger and Buck's storyline. I think it's awesome, and I'm really invested as a book reader, but I don't feel like this episode advanced their story very much. And my great was, of course, the reunion between Jamie and Claire, and the revelation that William is Jamie's son. I just thought it was beautifully acted.
Well, thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that, and I will agree with you on the bonnet and Finding Nemo take. Great take. Love that. All right, let's go to the next comment. This one comes from Annie M24. She says, I honestly didn't love the Claire and the Lord John scene, albeit handled well, and I could see it coming. It felt disingenuous and unnecessary from both characters. This is why I love the listener feedback episodes. So many good takes. I stopped reading the books to thoroughly enjoy the show without spoilers, so I don't know if this is part of the original storyline. Other than that, it is a solid 4.5 for me. My heart is not ready for their story to end. Man, that's a great take. And it's not like I'm being contrarian just for the sake of it. I just love that this person's like, yeah, this doesn't feel right. It just feels off. And even just from the perspective of a show watcher. I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's because it happened so fast.
Yeah.
It happened so fast, and we're meant to have a lot more time to let this breathe.
Right.
A lot more time where it does feel real. It does feel like they have settled into the fact that this is true. It's, to us, it's like they were just told yesterday. They got married right away. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
And Jamie's not even gone for a full episode.
Agreed.
He's back. Like, he is back. Like, they find out that the guy is dead halfway through the last episode.
Yeah. So that's what I just think, because we don't have time to breathe with the show.
Yep. All right, this one comes from Elizabeth. She says, greetings from New Jersey.
But also, like what Angie said, the previous caller, when she said, like, there's no amount of alcohol that would make me want to sleep with my gay best friend. So
Right.
also I appreciate that.
Yep. Greetings from New Jersey, longtime listener, first-time contactor. I'm originally from Arlington, Mass., and it makes me smile every time that Blake's Boston accent busts on out. I traveled to Scotland with my family last summer, and so many folks asked if I had ever watched Outlander when I would talk of my trip. By the way, sorry for having our dog in the background. She was getting a little impatient with us in the studio. I think she had to go pee. Anyway, so Elizabeth says, I started watching and was hooked in the first seconds. I found your podcast right away and have listened along while watching. It's a strange trip to have 10 years go by in just the past 4 months. We have all experienced a great deal in the last decade, and a tremendous thank you to you. Thank you to Mary and Blake for sharing so much of their personal lives with all of us nerds.
Aww.
Okay, my kilt rating is 4.75. My good. I really loved the Ian and Rachel storyline, going all the places of humor and upset and tenderness. My bad. Roger going on and on about how his dad and Jemmy must be connected. Whatever, you're in a tough spot looking for your dad, who you never knew and your own kid is missing. It's too much for one person. And then, no jacket for you. My best was the drunken morning till sober morning scene. Not all Outlander sex needs to be seen, and Jamie's flashback voiceovers were perfect. I love Claire's barbaric yawp of anger and pain like Jenny's from the previous episode. The shot of Lord John sitting pensive in his puffy shirt, waiting for his liquid courage to take hold. Their conversation in the next morning was relationship goals. And then Jamie appears the next day, and we are off to the Outlander races again. Jesus H. Roosevelt Christ. I do love this show. Well, Elizabeth, just because you're a fellow cousin from Boston, and you apparently have listened to all of the seasons in every episode of Outlander Cast in the past 4 months, I will say this. Email me when you hear this, and I will send you anything of your choice from the Marion Blake store. Just as a little thank you to someone who has engaged with us so quickly and so thoughtfully, and because you're one of the golden few. I'm just going to say that you're one of the chosen golden few of us Bostonians at heart, and I appreciate that. All right, let's get to the next comment. This one comes from Susan. She said, actually, Mary, why did you read this one?
More seamless than the last episode. Appreciated how the Claire Lord John Grey scene was handled, prefaced by the brief shot of the full moon, which explains a lot.
Ooh, I like that take.
Mm-hmm. Loved the Lord John Grey deer story. Claire descending the stairs for the... I can't say this word. For the event reminds me of Brianna at River Run for the dinner she decided to attend.
Okay.
Strong women facing reality. Oh my God. Jamie returning. William finding out the truth. Loved so much. Brianna's assault on Rob with the cookware. Let's hope Le Croissant cast iron packs a punch. Let's hope it's that. I can't say that, Brianna. I can't say lots of things today, guys. Let's just hope that it packs a punch, okay? Susan gives it 4.8 kilt. She agrees with Blake about the random leaves shot.
It's weird. It's weird. The full moon is the one time that actually pays off. I'll give you that. Other than that, the random shots that they have as transitions bothers the hell out of me. All right, the last and final, the final two voicemails. You ready?
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Hi, this is Andrea calling in from Portland, Oregon for
Hi, Andrea.
episode 100 of Stones.
It's Andrea.
Hi, Andrea.
Hi, Andrea.
Good to hear from you again.
So great to hear from you again. What is my Calm app have in store for me today?
I would give this episode a 4.6 because I thought it was a solid episode. My good. Everything with Sir Gifts-a-Lot. I appreciated the time forcing Claire and John together to see how they interacted and how he contrasts with Jamie and Claire regarding honor and beliefs. I also giggled when John mentioned the gift of the white deer and laughed aloud with his large extravagant gift wrapping and presentation for the dress he gives Claire. I appreciated the delivery of his subtle mention of Sun to reveal the whole William secret at the end. It flowed so naturally and caught me off guard that I went back to rewatch him saying it. Bad. I don't really have a bad for this episode. I loved the scene at the end, and I'm glad that the cat's out of the bag with William knowing Jamie is his dad. But when William overhears Lord John and Jamie goes directly into explaining everything to him, I wish Jamie had first looked at Lord John, sort of with a, do you want to take this, or how do you want to handle this, offer before diving in. It seemed out of place for him to explain, and I would have preferred John starting and saying, yes, he is your father, and then giving Jamie a look saying, you can take it from here. Great. I loved the two scenes we had with Bree. I felt every emotion, sadness, grief, anger, terror, and was entirely engaged when she was in the episode. And the pan knockout at the end, perfectly executed. I'm eagerly awaiting the next episode to continue her storyline. Thanks, Mary and Blake, for all you do. Take care.
Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to hear from you as always. As Mary sneezes.
Excuse me.
I will say this. I'm looking forward, Andrea, to seeing what Bree has in store for Rob Cameron. As I said last episode, I think she's going full Jack Bauer, and I cannot wait for that to happen. For her to finally be in control of the situation and take out some of that pent-up frustration that she got as a result of from Stephen Bonnet. Oh, can't wait for her to exact her revenge. All right, last voicemail. Here we go.
Hey, Mary and Blake. It's Dena from foggy Central California.
Hey, Dena.
First, it's great to have the Nerd Clan back together.
Thank you.
I wanted to comment on Outlander.
Just want to say this. We're always together. Always together. It's good to have the Outlander nerds back together. We'll just make that distinction. The Nerd Clan is always. It's ever present. It is omnipresent. Okay? Here we go.
Under 7-11, a hundredweight of stone. My kilt rating is 4.825. It was a good one. And yes, I've read all the books. My GBGs are good, Bree smashing Rob Cameron with the frying pan.
Preach.
What a satisfying clang. My bad, Claire just taking Captain Richardson's word that he was a rebel.
Right.
Did she ever stop to think he might be playing her to get her to confess?
Nope, because Claire never thinks. She just does. And it drives me bananas.
Not great, Bob. My great. Claire's simple statement, there it is. My blood. Swoon.
Oh.
As an aside, I traveled to Scotland in May and visited Midhope Castle, aka Lollybrock. I cried as I walked up the path and through the iconic arch. I love how they used Lollybrock in the first 2 episodes to span time. Thanks for doing what you guys do. Slàinte.
Oh,
thank
thank
you, Dena.
you. What a nice voicemail.
Mary, would you cry as you go up to Midhope Castle, a.k.a. Lollybrock?
Oh, yeah.
Would you cry?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I would cry.
You would.
I don't know if I would.
You cry so much more than me.
I cried when I saw the Millennium Falcon at Disney. I totally did. There's video proof of that.
Oh, I'll probably just take a video proof of this one, too.
But I don't know if I might. I don't know. We're going to have to go. We have to go. We got to see it. But I definitely cried when I saw the Millennium Falcon. That was one of those moments that in your life you don't forget.
So would walking up to Lollybrock.
I don't know. Millennium Falcon's a pretty big deal. That's like, early childhood stuff. It's like seeing the Enterprise in real life. That'd be crazy. All right. Are you ready to close out this bad boy?
I am.
All right, let's do it.
We want to thank you all so incredibly much for hanging out with us, especially for those of you who wrote in, called in. This is why we do the listener feedback episodes. Like Blake said earlier, you get to hear the good, the bad, the ugly from all different viewpoints. And it's what makes watching these shows so much more fun and so much more dynamic. So thank you for hanging out with us. We want to thank especially our friends at jointhenerdclan.com. Blake has some extra fun things in store. So if you haven't joined yet, know that you still can. But if you are a member there, we want to thank you. We know that, it's not... these times are tough, and we appreciate, honestly, we appreciate every little bit that you can to help keep the lights on in this studio, to keep us going. We are a mom and pop podcast shop, and we couldn't do it without your support. So thank you.
100%, Mary. I will absolutely agree with that. We need all of your support to keep this show going, and there are many ways to do that. You can do it through jointhenerdclan.com. You can do it by sending us reviews, written reviews, or calling in here at the maryandblake.com, leaving voicemails or leaving comments, or one way or another. We would love your support to help keep this all running. And Mary, I just thought about this. I figured out, thank you to Dena for this epiphany, if you will. I figured out how to close the episodes from now on.
Okay.
We can just say Slàinte.
Yeah.
How does that sound?
Sounds great.
All right, there we go. That's it. That's how we're going to close out the episodes from now, instead of saying you've been listening to Outlander Cast.
I mean, it's what we did for a decade, but we could do both.
Well, I mean,
Watch.
Yeah.
My name's Mary.
My name is Blake.
And you've been listening to Outlander Cast.
I see. No, I can't do that.
Slàinte.
I can't do that.
Okay, you've been listening to Outlander Cast. Slàinte.
There you go. All right, cool. All right. See, there you go. All right. That's our closing out from now on.
Bye, guys.
Wait, are we going to do it for real now, though?
I just did it twice.
Should we do it again?
No.
No, we're not doing it again. Okay.
No thanks.
All right, fair enough. All right. Thank you, everybody. Much love. See you later. Slàinte.